Hey everybody, it's Ken Himmler back with you again, and I want to do a quick update because we're coming into the 2026 tax year. And a couple revisions that you need to be aware of is number one is last year in 2024, we partnered with another company called Aspire Tax and Accounting, and it did not meet our expectations. We were hoping to bring in additional talent that would hopefully ease the problems that we're having with the IRS, as every single accounting and tax firm is. They did not live up to our expectations, which are very high expectations, as you know. And so we will be going back to H&H Tax and Business Advisors and just hiring internal people. Now, most importantly is we instituted, when we started seeing that the government was defunding the IRS, and we would go from being able to get an agent on the phone in 30 minutes to somewhere around 2001 or 2002, it was taking up to 2 hours. Now it can take up to 9 hours for us to get an agent on the phone. And that's because they're understaffed. I'm not beating up the IRS. I mean, what do you do if you're working there and they've cut down 60% of their workforce? And most of the experienced IRS agents they've retired, they've taken buyouts, and you got a lot of younger, unexperienced agents. You can't blame them. They're just overwhelmed, and they're still dealing with a computer system from the 1990s. So about 4 or 5 years ago, we partnered with an insurance company. Oh, I shouldn't say it's an insurance company. It's kind of like an insurance company. And what happens is everybody pays a fee every year. It's a couple $100, $150 or something like that, and a couple $100 for a business. But this way, if you have any type of tax notices, and I'll give you some indication. So in 2019, we were doing the same number of tax returns. In 2019, we had 5 tax notices. Last year, we had 92 with the same number of tax returns. So this gives you some idea of how messed up the IRS is. And between their computer systems, it's not updated. They still have mail that they haven't opened from 2022 or 2023. That's something you can Google, and it's a very interesting article. But I'm going to share it with you why we're instituting a lot of these changes. And again, we've had some people get mad at us and say, wow, I got this IRS notice. Again, 99% of these are 99.9%. Out of the 92, there was actually 2 of them that were because the clients didn't give us the right information. And when we reported it to the IRS said, hey, you didn't report all the information. The other 90 were incorrect notices. Now, I'm going to share something with you real quick because we have the same issue individually. I got one last year, and this was a personal one. Filed taxes on time, paid my taxes as every other American should, right? And sure enough, I get this threatening letter, you didn't submit your tax returns. And then I get another threatening letter, we're going to seize your property. Now, thank goodness it's easy for me because, I can just assign that to one of our internal CPAs and they can take care of it. But if you're the taxpayer, you're a client, you're working with anybody else, here's the number one thing I'm going to suggest. If you're with our firm, we're already going to do this for every single person next year. But if you are not with our firm, you want to make sure that your CPA, your accountant, your tax preparer is putting some type of audit and some type of IRS insurance on your return. And here's the reason why. So if it takes us 9 hours just to get an agent on the phone, that we charge hourly, and that can run the bill up. Because again, we have to pay our employees, and unfortunately, the IRS's problems are not our problems. We have to fix them, but it's the taxpayers' problems. So we charge unless somebody has the insurance on there. So what I'm trying to help you with is if you're dealing with another CPA, another accounting firm other than ours, mandate that they put insurance on your return, because for $100, $150, whatever that number is, it could cost you $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. I want to prove my point to you. Okay. So many of you know I teach entity structuring. I have a lot of entities myself, depending upon what I'm doing, whether it's some of the multiple businesses that I own, it might be some of the investment real estate that I own, it might be some of the active businesses, or even some of the passive businesses that I invest in. So here, I'm going to show you this. This is actually my stuff. So we filed the extensions for these S Corps. and the IRS then sent a threatening letter. We didn't get your extension. Now remember, we file it online. We get notice that they got it and that they accepted it, right? This is in our tax software. We use a software called ProConnect, and it's for CPA firms. And so we get this notice. I get this notice, this threatening notice. You didn't file your extension. So then I get a penalty. So then we have to open up a case and we have to try to get the IRS on the phone and try to show, hey, you did receive it. You actually approved it. So we did that. We actually got that solved. And then yesterday, literally yesterday, I get in the mail. This was sent out December 1st. This is no joke. Here's one entity. I just want to make sure there's no personal information on there that, here it is. Real quick. Here's 2 letters. I'll tell you what the first one says. This is for one of my companies that does education for finances. And it says, amount due $1,900.30. And it also says, notice of intent to seize, levy your property or property rights. Now keep in mind, this has been fixed for months. Here's another one. This one is amount due $2,476.45. Notice of intent to seize, levy, or your property rights, property or rights to the property. Again, these things have been concluded months ago, yet I still get this threatening letter from the IRS. Now, thank goodness these things don't upset me because I know exactly what's going on with the IRS. A lot of you out there, you're not understanding how bad the IRS is right now, and you get these threatening letters, and it can be very upsetting. You lose sleep over them. I want to tell you straight out that if you are dealing with somebody and they're not handling this with some type of insurance, then you could be out a lot of dollars. So going into 2026, the IRS is defunding even more. So you have to be really careful as to making sure that you got everything done right, done on time, and you got good records, but then make sure your tax preparer is actually putting insurance on those returns. Okay, I'm going to sign off now. Hopefully this has been a good public service announcement, and good luck in 2026 for 2025 tax returns.